Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. This is my second post on the death of Ken Stabler. I think it's important to cover this for multiple reasons. I've noticed on ESPN ever since his death, every single time that they bring it up, they keep showing the exact same highlight. And it's of Ken Stabler throwing the ball to the player known as the Ghost, who wore the number 87. 87. And as they showed this on ESPN, I thought that was the extent of the sick joke. Ken Stabler died on the 8th day of July. In parts of the world where they write the day first, they write the date 8/7. Said he died July 8th. And they just keep showing this over and over and over. And one of my fellow truth seekers who watches this channel, he found out that this play had a name called Ghost to the Post. So we're going to talk about that. Before we break down Ghost to the Post, I just want to make you think about this too. Ken Stabler won the Super Bowl in the year 77, and his last full day of life on this earth, if he truly died, was 7/7, July 7th. But check this out, Truth Seeker. In this highlight that they keep showing, it's from their playoff game the year after they won the Super Bowl, the season after. The play's called Ghost to the Post, and it took place on December 24th, 1977. December 24th. Notice that Ghost to the Post in English gematria sums to 1242. The same numbers that are in the date 1224. And also it was a 42-yard pass play. 42-yard pass play. Very significant number, 42. We talk about that one a lot when we decode sports. This year, Tom Brady became the all-time winningest quarterback in Super Bowls, going 4-2, first QB to start in 6 games. And of course, his legacy began against the Raiders when the NFL made up a new rule on the field just to get the Patriots into the Super Bowl. They lost to the Raiders in 2001. Tom Brady fumbled the ball. The game was over. But oh no, here comes the referees to make up a new rule and to move the Patriots into the Super Bowl. Some Patriot fan listening probably goes, well, Adam Vinatieri still had to make the field goal. Yeah, he did, Good on him. He was clutch. But still, it was only possible because of the hoax. Vinatieri's the real hero, if anybody, on the Patriots, not Tom Brady. But check this out, Truth Seeker. Talk about coded numbers. The date of this incident, December 24th, 1977, a date with some very significant numerology. 132 is the product of 33 times 4, a number that gets coded a lot. Earlier this year, we had that Philadelphia train crash at 9:23 p.m. on the 132nd day of the year. It's also a date with 33 numerology, major number coded into hoaxes. And as we're finding out, pro sports are as big of a hoax as the nightly news. All stuff that is presented to viewing audiences, told to be legitimate, unscripted, but lo and behold, the nightly news and pro sports are scripted. I have done a very thorough job of supporting the case I'm making. If you go through my videos, it becomes pretty much undeniable. The date also has a connection to the number 113. A number definitely coded on every single hoax. This is the date of Ghost to the Post, the highlight they keep showing over and over and over on ESPN when talking about Ken Stabler. And let us not forget that Ken Stabler is a player who won 74 games with the Raiders in his playing career, won league MVP, not MPV, typo, league MVP in the year 74, and he did this with the Raiders. Raiders has gematria of 74. Like Masonic, one of the most important numbers coded into so many things. The first Super Bowl in the NFL was in the 47th season, the reflection of this number. The date they won the Super Bowl, Truth Seeker, January 9th, 77, is a date with 87 numerology, like the number they keep showing in the video, connected to the date he died on, the 8th day of the 7th month, Ken Stabler. Also, Truth Seeker, in this game that they won on the date with 113 numerology, look, that season they had a 113 record. Back then, football was only a 14-game season. These days, it's 16. The reason I think it used to be 14 is because of the word end in gematria sums to 14. End of the season. We talked about how in Major League Baseball sums to 162 in simple English gematria, 162 game season. So much coding in pro sports. But Truth Seeker, what I want to say right here is that I predicted months ago at the end of the last football season that the Colts will win the Super Bowl this coming season because of everything being scripted and reading into these numbers. Last year, I also predicted it was going to be the Colts, but I figured out now why my prediction was wrong, Truth Seeker. If you haven't seen my earlier work on how I predicted the Super Bowl would be the Colts and they would win it, you should go back and watch that, because even though I wasn't right, I wasn't that far off, and the whole thesis and what I based it on was completely correct. Last year, the Patriots went through the Baltimore Ravens and the Indianapolis Colts and won the Super Bowl in their 44th year of existence in their conference. 44 years earlier, the Baltimore Colts, the two teams the Patriots went through, Baltimore and Colts, to get to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl with Johnny Unitas. And I think this death of Ken Stabler and them showing this highlight over and over, Raiders Colts, the game, I think this is a clue of what's coming this season. Remember, the Super Bowl will be in the Bay Area. I don't expect the Raiders to be in the Super Bowl, but I fully expect the Colts to be there. And the Colts have Frank Gore on their team. Frank Gore in gematria sums to 50, just like San Francisco, and I think he got traded to the Colts all because of the scripted league. Now he's going to get to come home and win a Super Bowl in front of the team he played for the majority of his career. And I think this is all coded into the sick joke of Ken Stabler's death, and really the sick joke of pro sports, because if you think about what it is robbery of the masses on a grand scale. They say every year billions of dollars are spent on pro sports, and the people spending that money are people who think they're watching a legitimate game, I guess. How do you put it? The Raiders prior to that had won the Super Bowl against the Minnesota Vikings with Ken Stabler. The date connected in numerology to his death. And again, Truth Seeker, if you haven't seen my first video on Ken Stabler, there's a lot of 52 coding right now. Ken Stabler was the 52nd pick of the 68 draft. The year 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. The year World Trade Center construction started. The year Space Odyssey 2001 came out. The year Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. 68, a big year. A year that gets coded into a whole lot. California also has gematria 52. California will be hosting the Super Bowl. If you watched my first video in the tribute Tom Jackson was on and he kept referring to him as Kenny, it made me think of They Killed Kenny. I just want you to notice that Kenny has gematria of 69, like the age he died at. And again, Stabler, 77, like the year he won the Super Bowl, like the last day that he lived a full life on this earth. So the story goes. So just wanted to bring those updates, Truth Seeker. It's a sick joke we live in. This isn't the first time I've done a video on ESPN's imagery and what it connects to. Before the Ice Bucket Challenge of last summer, ESPN did a segment on Lou Gehrig with all these coded numbers, and it made me go, what's it all about? And the next thing you knew, we had an Ice Bucket Challenge with all the same numbers coded in. Just real quick, a little tangential. Lou Gehrig announced his disease to the world on July 4th, 1939. That number 74, like the number all over Ken Stabler, 74 MVP, 74 wins with the Raiders. Raiders equals 74. Notice the date that he made this announcement has a numerology of 33. And then, months after they did this story, the Ice Bucket Challenge started. The gematria of Ice Bucket Challenge is 74, Truth Seeker. So many different ways they code these numbers into so many different hoaxes. A relentless gang of Masons. It's Masons who are behind this. Don't forget the word Masonic, 74. The word Freemason is 96. And Ken Stabler, in his career, he played with 3 teams, had a career of 96 wins, also 49 losses. Special number to the Bay Area. Think about the San Francisco 49ers who joined the NFL in the 49 season. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time.